Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Punt Situation with Polk and usually Scott and sometimes Sap and possibly Cam. But unfortunately, they weren't able to join us right now. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We got some important information this week. We're going to talk about tight ends, or tonight. We're going to talk about tight ends. We're going to go over a few other things. I did want to touch up. So the NFL is actually trying to pursue a little bit more time for Deshaun Watson, and so that should get pretty interesting because the NFLPA is now suing them. So be prepared. I mean, this could definitely take some time. It's legal process is time consuming, so that should be pretty interesting. And then I'm excited. I don't know if you are excited, but we got football tomorrow night. We actually kick off the Hall of Fame game. I think you can catch that on NBC. It's going to be the Raiders and the Jaguars, so that should be exciting. It's great to have football back. A lot of rookies, notable rookies that we're going to be able to see, show out for the first time. So should be pretty exciting. Like I said, I think, they got Snoop Connor, the running back for Jacksonville. He's going to show up. Kevin Austin Jr., Wingham, Willie Johnson, Ryan McDaniel, Luke Farrell, Garrett Price, Grayson Gunter. So a lot of guys right there that I just named that are going to be rookies in the Hall of Fame game, trying to make their first start and trying to make the team. So it should be interesting. Scott, hey, welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good, man. Going good. Ready to talk about some tight ends. Just going over some of the news, some of the stuff that's happened, today, and so.
Some exciting news. Did you mention James Washington? He's going to be out 6 to 10 weeks for Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, we talked about James Washington yesterday, and we talked about how poor that receiving core looks now. But
Michael Gallup ready for week 1 either, so that's
right. Yeah, we talked about that. Should be good to go in week 2.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Hopefully.
Well, yeah,
we need him.
See. Well, definitely we need him here. So, interesting thing, I'm doing this little mock draft. I got a little itchy before we came on, and these guys are supposed to be experts over here, and so far I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah. Who you got?
Well, right now, okay, I'm about to make a pick here. My choices were I need to get a wide receiver, so I got Brandon Cooks, DK, St. Brown, Mooney, Judy, Sutton, Cooper, Davis, Lockett, Michael Thomas, and Henry Renfrow is my choices right now. I think I'm going to go with Henry Renfrow on here. What do you think?
Hunter Renfrow? Hey, I think he's going to be definitely a staple to that offense. Some of those guys. What is that? Is that your number 2 receiver? Huh? I'm guessing.
My number 2 receiver. Actually, in this draft so far, they're picking wide receivers first, then running backs. And I picked up JT as my first one, and Aaron Jones as my second, as my running back.
Oh, not bad. So that you said that was your first receiver?
No, that's my second one. My first receiver, Jerry Judy. I'm sorry, Waddle was my first one.
Okay.
Waddle was the best one out of the wide receiver core because wide receivers went quick.
Yeah, give Waddle a little love. I love it.
So it's right now for my wide receivers is Waddle and Renfrow. So I got another pick up. See, my choices are if I want to go tight end, it's Kyle Pitts, Darren Waller, George Kittle, Dalton Schultz, Hawk, Goddard, Ertz. So, I might go another running back over here. I have
and that's probably what I would do is just go ahead and seal up that running back room. Nobody played all 16 games last year, so it's nice to have someone just in case.
I'm probably going to go with
best available. So
best available right now is CEH. So that's the best one that's available.
Is that who you're taking?
Yeah, I'm going to take him. I'm just going to.
Okay. I hear the ticker counting down.
Yeah, he's gonna be my bye week kind of guy. So
Right on.
Yeah, it's amazing. I didn't think that wide receiver was going to go that quick in the first 3 rounds, but they did.
Yeah, I mean every draft's different. That's why it's great to do mock drafts, just to kind of see, different draft styles and where people are going. So,
Yeah,
so Scott, you got your. I do have your tight end list, don't I?
I do.
Let's see if I can find him. All right, and Scott, just while I'm looking for this, you want to just kind of go through your picks, kind of just talk about how, what, who, when, where, how. That's how twice, right?
Yeah. So are we talking about my picks that I'm doing right now for the draft, or?
Yeah, where'd you get Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm number 2 in the order here, and the first person picked Christian McCaffrey as their number 1. And I
Interesting.
was like, yeah, it was very interesting. I was like, I'm going to go with JT. JT was the number 1 last year. He should be still the number 1, number 2 this year. Uh, so I was pretty happy with that. And then come back around, I got Aaron Jones, which I was surprised that he was still there. And so, and then like I said, you know, my my wide receivers are like they took him pretty quick, and Jalen Waddle was the next one available, and so I was pretty happy with that. I mean, I mentioned it already that Jalen Waddle is going to have a pretty good year with Tyreek Hill being over there and probably being either single coverage or double coverage. With him, Waddle should see more of the looks and catches and stuff over there.
Yeah, he's going to get all that short yardage work, right?
Right. He's going to get a lot of the receptions, the short yardage, probably a few touchdowns and everything. So,
Right. All right, so I got your list put up. So we're talking about tight ends. We're just going to run through. It looks like Scott's got the first 5, and then value picks. We're going to talk about busts, and we're going to talk about honorable mentions. So Scott, if you just want to let me know what's going on in your first 5 tight ends, then.
Yeah. So first one, I got Mark Andrews. What does it say about Mark Andrews? He's one of the best tight ends out there right this moment. The only thing that's helping him out is because Lamar Jackson doesn't have anybody to throw to. But the guy is tough. I've seen him in the end zone where he fought and caught the ball and made a touchdown. And not only he makes touchdowns, he does go over 100 yards as well. He had several games last year with that, so I'm pretty confident he's going to be that number 1 this year. I think Travis Kelce at number 2. Oh, excuse me, guys. I got a pick here real quick, and then I'll get back to you.
Yeah, I agree. Mark Andrews is a stud, and going to continue. I mean, he's the only receiver for that team, so I think he gets lots of opportunities.
I agree with you, man.
If he can stay on the field, it's going to work.
Absolutely. I think Travis Kelce will take a step back a little bit because he doesn't have Tyreek Hill, and so who does Kansas City have over there? I mean, MVS, Juju. You can still say those guys were, number 1 top guys over there, but I mean they're really not. So I mean, Travis Kelce is going to get. I think they're going to figure him out. He is getting older, like you mentioned before. I think he might lose a little bit of step, a little bit less catches this year because he's probably going to get double covered because hey, they don't have Tyreek Hill there, over there anymore. So number 3, I think Darren Waller suits him over there. I know he had some injuries last year, took him out of the game. I know you have. I think was it last year or a year before, Polk? I can't remember.
I had him last year.
Okay, so you had him last year, and I remember you were a little upset with him because some of the games that he played, he didn't look good. He didn't, they didn't throw it to him too much. But I think with Devontae Adams over there, that'll help him out with Renfro. you might see a little bit more open, a little bit more production out of him this year. Hopefully, he stays healthy. And then my number 4 is going to be Dawson Knox. Dawson Knox last year just looked great before his injury. He was killing it, right? He was getting a touchdown almost every single game, and I still think that's going to be. There you go, exactly. So I think he's still going to get those touchdowns if he stays healthy. Is it going to hurt Stephon Diggs a little bit? Sure, it will, but I think it's going to benefit more Dawson Knox because they might have Tyler Gabriel as their second wide receiver over there, but Dawson Knox was a big part of that offense last year that got him to the playoffs, and I think he's going to move up. And from my charts, I think he's going to be at least a top 3. He might take over Darren Waller this year. Number 5 is going to be George Kittle. George Kittle. What can you say about this guy, man? He's one of your favorite players, Polk. It's just his quarterback situation that he's got going on over there. Last year Jimmy G didn't kind of overlooked him a little bit, in my opinion. There were some times that George Kittle was open and Jimmy G didn't throw it to him. It's his clutch. That's what I want to know. And last year, by looking at those 2 games that he played, George Kittle, didn't look too good. So if they work season, that'd be great.
With Trey Lance being new to this, if he goes back and looks at some of the tapes, CJ Beathard looked good because he figured out that he could find George Kittle and kind of rely on him. Mullins looked good because he realized he could find George Kittle and rely on him. So as long as Trey Lance picks up on that, he should be solid. He should be a solid guy, and the offense should be able to move the ball as long as Kittle can stay on the field. Right, that's been his biggest concern. Right. For 2 years, he's had some pretty substantial injuries where he missed, quite a few weeks. So, but the guy plays so hard. He's in there every play blocking. He runs some great routes, and after the catch, he's trying to run everybody over. So that just kind of adds to that wear and tear. But if he could stay healthy and stay on the field, he has the potential to be right up there with Mark Andrews, I think.
Oh, I agree, totally, 100% there. So if you scroll down to my value picks real quick, and let me make a quick pick here, and then we go here.
Quick pick, trying to win the lottery, yeah.
Yep. Did you know that Jarvis Landry went to the Saints? I didn't realize that.
Yep. Yeah, him and Chris Olave, right? That's it, huh?
Right. Yeah, that's it. If you think Michael Thomas is going to be your guy, then I feel bad for you.
Yeah, if he plays, the dude may pop up right the day before the season starts and have another surgery. So
right. So going to my value picks here, I know last year Kyle Pitts was a little bit of a bust. That offensive line was horrible. Matty Ice didn't have time to throw. Kyle Pitts did miss a couple easy catches last year. He was one of my guys that I thought he was going to do well, and I Polk and I talked about it. But they do have the rookie over there, and they got to throw it to somebody, right, Polk? And so it's got to be Kyle Pitts, right?
Yeah, they're definitely low when it comes to receivers. So they lost Calvin Ridley due to betting. So he didn't really play anyway last year because of he had some issues.
He had some issues, and then he got suspended. He's suspended the rest of this year.
Yeah.
If I was him, I would be appealing it with suspension there, since Deshaun Watson got 6 months 6 weeks. But we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll see how that all goes, but yeah. So Drake London.
Yeah, Drake London. He's the guy there. He's the number 1 wide receiver there as a rookie. That's a lot. A lot of pressure, and to be that number one guy over there. So, it's got to be. I mean, the most experienced person's got to be Kyle Pitts, even though he's coming into year two. Um, like I said, Mariota's got to throw somebody over there. So it's why not Kyle Pitts? Next one's going to be Dalton Schultz. That was Dak Prescott's go-to guy last year, and he was touchdown dependent last year. Didn't give you a lot of yards, but definitely he did a great job helping out Dak last year. That's the only thing that's going on for him right now for the Cowboys, other than CeeDee Lamb over there.
He looked fast, but I always was expecting him to hit another gear, right? Like I always felt like he was fast, but it's like, okay, here it comes. Like he's gonna just, gear's gonna hit, and he's gonna take off, and it never happened.
It's kind of like that one play that AP did last year, right? He got the ball, and then like, all right, AP, kick it in the gear, man.
Yeah. That was a couple years ago now when he was with the Titans, right? When he had that what is it, like 60-yard run, and he's like, you can tell, like it's like a car just trying to, I'm saying, it's never hitting that last gear that he used to be able to hit. So
so Dalton Schultz, I mean, this guy's
you like my sound effects?
Yeah, I like that. It was pretty good. You should add that to your program there. He's got to at least get 6 to 8 touchdowns this year. Like I said, he's not going to give you a lot of yardage. He may give you some yardage in the beginning of the season, but when Michael Gallup comes back and James Washington comes back, or if they get somebody, off the street or on the trade, Dalton Schultz is going to be kind of the guy over there at Dallas right now, other than CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard and all those guys. Next one, value pick is going to be Hawk, TJ Hawkinson. He's Mr. Reliable in Detroit, and he's the only one that, other than St. Brown over there, they had last year. Major concerns with him, is of course his injuries with Hawk. He's a big guy. He's a great blocker. He doesn't give you a lot of yards, but by God, he gives you those touchdowns that you need. And he
was getting 10 catches a game. I mean, they were using him heavy last year at the start of the season. And then he got hurt. So I mean, that's a sad thing about overusing that guy. He was a dominating when he first came out. Goff loves him. I know you're not a Jared Goff fan, Polk, but Jesus, oh my gosh! All right, let's pick something up here. Goff don't have any. Quentin Cephas, I seen that there was an injury. I think he got carted off the field, I want to say. Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to be able to step up maybe. But really, I mean, one of the biggest options is going to be the guy, TJ Hawkinson, on that offense. You kind of compare him almost to like the Ravens or something. They just don't have all the options, all the names, and Hawk is the guy, just like Andrews is the guy.
Right, exactly. So going to the honorable mentions, I'm going to go with Dallas Goedert. Here's the reason why for Dallas Goedert. I know a lot of people didn't like him last year, didn't give him a lot of points, didn't do a lot for him, but
he didn't do anything for anybody.
He didn't. But Dallas Goedert got A.J. Brown this year. They got the Speedster Smith. So maybe you see a little bit more production.
And they got a new quarterback, right? Like an actual quarterback?
Oh, no, not yet, sir.
No. Damn. Okay.
No,
well, then I project the same thing this year.
Okay. All right. Well, moving on to the next one. Mike Gesicki. Gesicki. Boy, I love that name. Gesicki. I can't even say it right. But anyways, Mike, with all those wide receivers out there with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, he could be a threat at times if they use him correctly. I think this year.
Are you worried about the coach coming forward and saying that they want to use him more of in a blocking scheme this year?
Miami said a lot of things, like they said, a couple years or last year with their running back core, and then they switched it up. I don't see.
Yeah, they didn't have a running back.
Right, exactly. So
I still don't think they do, but
no, I agree with you. I think Mike's he's going to probably block a little bit more, but he's still going to go out there and get those catches and still get a touch.
he's athletic as all get out, right? I mean, the opportunity's there for athleticism.
Right.
Now they just got to find the ball and he's got to catch it.
Exactly. So let's go to my next one here. Tyler Higbee. He came on strong last year towards the end, helped them out in the playoffs. My concerns with him, I know he was ranked last year to be a lot higher, and a lot of people picked him, and they got really discouraged with him because they didn't use him that much. They would, they expect him to use him before they got OBJ, and when Woods went down, it was, basically Cooper Kupp show, and Tyler didn't get a lot of looks, and when he did get looks, he dropped, but all of a sudden, towards the end, he started picking up, especially during playoffs. So, and that's what you're looking for is the playoffs. So, we'll see. Go. You all right there, buddy? Don't cry.
I'm getting a little choked up. No, little sinuses. It's Texas, it's crazy.
It is crazy weather over here. So my next one I'm going to go to with bus. The bus is going to be Hunter Henry. Man, ever since he got to New England, he is not a non-factor over there, isn't he, Polk?
Yeah, well, I don't know. You just thought they were going to run a little bit more two tight end set. They went ahead and got Jonas Smith. They got Hunter Henry, and you thought they were going to go back to the old days of Aaron Hernandez and Gronk. That's definitely not the case. They had Hunter Henry kind of blocking a little bit more, and then Jonnu, I don't know what they're trying to do. Mac Jones definitely didn't favor the tight ends last year, even though his completion percentage was pretty good. So we'll see. I mean, someone's got to catch the ball in that offense, right? And, the receiving core, they didn't improve much. They brought over a boy from Miami.
Parker, excuse me.
Yeah, Devontae Parker, but, he wasn't that successful in Miami. Supposed to be a number one guy, drafted in the first round, and just never panned out. Injuries and everything else, so...
I want to know what happened to Neal. He was saying that he was going to be that number one wide receiver over there, and boy, he was just quiet all through the season. What's his name? Exactly. You don't even know. Neal. His last name is Neal. McKeon starts with a K.
Keanu Neal.
Yeah, that exactly. Yeah, but that whole wide receiver core is horrible over there.
And that's why I don't jump to the top of my head because, these are all medium tier guys. You got Jacoby Myers, Kendrick Bourne. Kendrick Bourne was on the team last year. Jacoby Myers on the team last year. Neither one of them have done anything with this team. They brought in Ty Montgomery and Nelson Aguilar, but he was on the team.
Yeah, that's Aguilar didn't do anything. I know he had 1 year with the Raiders and he looked great, and then they signed him over there and he didn't do anything. So next one's going to be the second one's going to be David McDonald, and man, they just signed him with that big contract, and he didn't do shit last year. He was hurt most of the year.
David Njoku?
Yeah. And they just signed him with that big contract over there and told Austin Hooper to go to the Titans. And I guess they're going to be using a little bit more this year. Who do they have? They don't have Landry anymore. They don't have OBJ over there. So,
What, right. Njoku's not a terrible tight end. He was athletic. But he definitely had problems holding on to the ball, right?
Right.
Yeah, he had some crazy, terrible drops. And then he got injured. So potential's all there, but I don't know. Maybe the guy hits the jug machine and he gets that figured out. Okay.
My last one's going to be Logan Thomas. Logan Thomas got that big contract last year and, played awesome, for at the time the Washington football team Redskins. He got that big contract, and then he went downhill and didn't do crap. Got hurt. Was out.
Yeah, he was injured.
I think it's going to be the same thing this year. I don't think he's going to be a non-factor.
Turning of the tides. New quarterback. We'll see.
Yeah.
Old converted quarterback, right?
Right. Exactly.
So okay, we're right on. That completes your list, and not bad. I like that you did 5. I don't know that I did the same thing. I'm having trouble. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and pull mine up, run through it, and that will make it a night. It's terrible, right? All right, so tight ends. We'll make this real easy. I did a top 10. I didn't get the memo that it was stopped at 5, so you can tell that mine's a little bit different. I don't know. Can y'all see that real well? Okay. So we'll talk about it, and we'll go through this real quick, right? Mark Andrews, number 1. Everybody's number 1 this year. Just going to get all the catches. Hollywood Brown left the team. Mark Andrews is the only guy on that team worth throwing the ball to right now. Bateman, maybe he steps up, but we only seen limited clips of him last year, because of injury and things like that. So you got Travis Kelce, number 2, clear-cut number 2, just a monster with the ball, but he's definitely getting up there in age. Tyreek Hill leaves. We'll see if that, kind of hinders him, but he's still going to have a pretty solid performance. Probably not what his ADP is getting picked at, but it won't be terrible. You won't regret it too much. George Kittle, I got number 3. I just think if he could stay on the field, he's a ball monster, kind of somebody I compared to Mark Andrews. The quarterback's going to find out that he's his best friend, and between him and Deebo Samuel, that's who's going to get the ball in the pass, I think. You got Darren Waller at 4. Like I said, Darren Waller is one of the most athletic guys out there when we talk about tight ends, with speed, the jump capability, big, strong guy, can bring the ball down. Kind of had a down year last year with injuries, and it looked like Will. He just didn't try as hard. So I think he has a bounce-back year. He's a guy that, has battled his demons before, and he rose above it. So I think hopefully, he can kind of step up, especially with other options. There are other options, right? Devontae Adams now on that team. Hunter Henry had the season he has, so other people got to cover. Defense has got to cover other players now. They can't just cover Waller, so expect him to look good across the middle. We talk about T.J. Hockenson. He's just a ball hawk for his team. He was averaging like 13 targets a game up until his injury. So Jared Goff got real comfortable real fast with him, and I don't think that's going to change really, especially because the wide receiving core didn't get that much better. So Hockenson, again, we just talked about the opportunities for these guys. The numbers are going to be there, and that's what makes them great. Kyle Pitts, you got Mariota coming in there. You got a rookie number 1 receiver. You really don't have much else around him. So Kyle Pitts is kind of the guy. Now, that can work one or two ways. He can get a million targets and actually catch the ball, or everybody can cover him and he don't see the ball too many times. But either way, he's still going to get his opportunities. There's opportunities that are still going to be presented to him because he is the only guy on that team, and he's an athletic monster. He came in is one of the best tight end prospects in a long time. So 7, I got Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz he did it so long. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I said I love the number 7 because I think Zach Ertz should be right in there.
Right. He did it so long for Philadelphia, and then, Philadelphia kind of, they fell in love with Dallas. Zach Ertz moved on, and Kyler Murray was able to find him. He became a great red zone threat. So look at him more like what you were getting Gronk the last couple of years. He's going to be heavy touchdown dependent, but Zach Ertz is that guy that he's consistent. So he's going to bring him in, and Kyler Murray's going to continue to look for him. If you don't run him in, I think that Zach Ertz is kind of going to be that guy that he kind of targets first in that red zone. At 8, we got Dawson Knox, down a little bit further than Scott had him. Dawson Knox, I think it was kind of a usage thing. So everybody was covering Diggs last year. So Josh Allen got comfortable throwing to Dawson Knox. Then Dawson Knox broke his finger, left a few games, and then it just wasn't the same, right? Diggs started catching the ball. Once playoffs hit, they found Gabriel Davis. So I think Dawson Knox is still a great value and a solid pick. But I just don't think he's going to be that, like when we talk about next level guys, and that's kind of what the 1 through 5 is, those next level guys, those guys that really you can just sit and not have to worry about. Some of these other guys, you just depending on the week and stuff, you may and may not swap them out. But, Dawson Knox down there at 8. So then we're going to talk about Dallas Goedert, Geo Dirt. Anyway, like I said, Jalen Hurts is his quarterback. That's why I have him at 9. The dude is athletic. The dude is good. 2 years ago, he was one of the best tight ends on the league. Right. So, yeah, when Wentz and Foles were throwing the ball, huh?
Yeah.
But I think Hurts still, Hurts is going to figure out that he will be a great option. Hurts is just trying to push the ball down the field. I don't know, and that could work negatively because he did get A.J. Brown. But Goedert's he got all the opportunity in the world. He's an athletic guy, and he does things when he gets the ball in his hands. So with these young quarterbacks, they tend to learn who they can throw to and who's consistent and who makes them look good. And Dallas Goedert is a guy that can do that for Hurts. So, and then we talk about Dalton Schultz, especially with the options and just being CeeDee Lamb. My nose itches so bad if you can't tell. It just being CeeDee Lamb. Now, that's going to lean a little bit more on Schultz. And if he can stay healthy, he became one of Dak's best friends last season. I think they're going to continue that. Especially, again, CeeDee Lamb can't be the only guy, right? He can't throw to CeeDee Lamb every single play. So he's going to have to find somebody else. And you got Tolbert, who's a rookie. Gallup's not going to be back week 1. So he could find Schultz and lean on Schultz. And I could see him being a guy that gets 5-6 targets a game. And if that happens, he's going to be up there near that top 10. So that's my 10. Next, we're going to go to value. We'll talk about Robert Tonyan. Robert Tonyan, you're getting him 17th tight end overall, 160th pick. 2 years ago, he had injuries last year. 2 years ago, he was one of the best tight ends. Huge touchdown upside. Actually had some pretty decent yardage, too. Yep. His quarterback is still Aaron Rodgers. So all of the other receivers left. They left Lazard and Tonyan, the only two guys that Rodgers right now knows on that roster. So that just shows, especially if Rodgers realized he could rely on him 2 years ago, what's to stop him from trying to rely on him when he's actually has him on the field, Yeah. So, and then we got Albert Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, Albert Okay.
Albert Okay.
Yeah.
So 16th, 141. Right above Robert Tonyan, but definitely you can see a couple rounds before. And that's just going to be because of his athleticism. We talked about it in a couple podcasts. He has battled injury concerns. At 141, it's really not killing you. And the upside is there, right? Because he is one of the fastest guys in the combine. When he ran his 40, it was right there next to Fance. I think maybe half a second faster, if not. So the dude has speed. No tight end comes into the league and just shows out, right? It usually don't happen. Kyle Pitts, top prospect ever, didn't have the most successful first season. Albert's coming into his third season. I think if things are going to start clicking if he can stay on the field. And then he's got a new quarterback. He's got Russell Wilson. So it's, if he's dropped balls in the past or any of that, he can establish himself with Russell Wilson, become his quick favorite option. And, the sky's the limit for that guy. Go ahead.
Well, let's remember that Tim Patrick's also out. So he's going to be out possibly for the rest of the season. I still haven't seen the reports yet on it, but it looks like it's pretty close.
Yeah, the only thing with that is you got KJ Hamler, you got Jerry Jeudy, you got Cortland Sutton. So, they're definitely not lacking in receivers, kind of like the Cowboys. But, again, new quarterback. Albert can kind of establish himself, kind of do what Cooper Kupp did with Matt Stafford and go ahead and say, hey, man, let's go have breakfast. Hey, you want to warm up, and just kind of become his best friend. It worked out there.
So I see on number 3 you got the former Denver Bronco, Noah Fant over there.
Right. Noah Fant, he went over there with Drew Lock, kind of the same situation, right? It's the only guy that Drew Lock knows on that team. Noah Fant has had success. Now, has he been the star that everybody wants Noah Fant to be? No, but he has a new team, new opportunity, same quarterback. So he's moving to a team that I really just don't think. I don't think DK's it. I don't think Lockett's it. I think Noah Fant, especially teams are going to have to try to cover those guys. And Noah Fant can, like I said, he's got the rapport with Drew Lock. If Drew Lock wins that battle, then I think Drew Lock is comfortable with Fant. At least he was comfortable with him in Denver. So I think Fant has the opportunity, especially at 150. Guys, he's the 15th. It's not going to kill you to get him if you get him. You're definitely not spending the draft capital that you're going to see in these top 5 guys. And we say they're value for a reason. They have a real high upside. It's not going to be as much as, because these guys high upside, but if an injury happens, it's really going to hurt you versus these guys. If something happens where you draft them and stuff, you still got the rest of the team to cover, and you can just pick somebody up off the waiver, and it's not going to be such a big deal. You'll just pick up their backup and move on, All right.
Let's go with your busted players over there.
Busted Buster. I was writing busted, and I just, carried on. But the number one, we're going to talk about C.J. Uzomah. 23rd, 225. Yeah, the captain ain't there, but he went to a new team. He don't have any rapport with them. They've got another tight end that they like. Uzomah came on strong last year with Burrow. He kind of didn't have much success before that. I think that was kind of a Burrow thing. I don't think that he's going to do, and maybe as a backup tight end, but who's drafting backup tight ends, right? So I don't think that he's going to do, he's a name that everybody's going to see and think, and remember him doing good last year, but remember that's not his first year in the league. So he goes to a new team, and I just don't think it's going to pan out. It's the Jets. Like, no one's going to pan out, right? No one's going to have outstanding numbers. So don't expect CJ. Don't think you're getting a steal way later in the draft. Second, we're going to talk about Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram has not panned out. 18th, 162. That capital is way too high for a guy that can't catch the ball for one, can't get more than 400 yards for two. He was a guy drafted to be the guy, and they gave him every opportunity and shipped him out. We're talking like, what was Evan Ingram first? He was a first round pick, I'm pretty sure. For a team to spend that capital on him and then send him packing and be 100% okay with it, that just kind of tells you that they had no faith in the guy. Evan Ingram, I just don't think he's going to have any success anywhere he goes. Maybe, when he gets 10 years in, he might show up kind of like what was that tight end for the Cleveland Browns? Do you know who I'm talking about? He had like 1 to 2 good years, and it was like 8 seasons in.
I was thinking more of the Cowboys with Michael Bennett.
Martellus Bennett?
Martellus Bennett, yeah, sorry, not Michael. But Martellus, he went to Chicago and dominated.
Yeah.
He had a good year. I'm not saying dominate, but he did a lot better than he did with the Cowboys, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He just started doing So, yeah, I agree with you with your Evan Ingram there. He's in a new team this year. Is it going to work out for him? I don't think so, but a lot better quarterback for sure.
Man, that's going to kill me.
What's that?
That tight end's name.
Oh. Well, talk about your third guy. I'll go look it up for you.
Okay. Anyway, after that, he went to another team and then injured and then retired immediately after. So we'll figure it out. We'll let y'all know. So my third guy, Mike Gesicki. I know that was one of your values. I just think with all the weapons that they brought, and Gesicki kind of had the opportunity to be the guy, especially when Devontae Parker was there and he wasn't really stepping up. Waddle was able to step up, and Gesicki had already established himself on that team. Athletic is all. We talked about that. But where you're getting him at 12 at 115, I think that you could probably grab OK or Robert Tonyan around, a couple rounds later, 2-3 rounds later, and have the same production. Like I said, Tonyan may be, maybe based on touchdowns, but Gesicki, I don't think with all the opportunities there, Waddle and everything else, Waddle's going to be covering the underneath, and then you got Hill taking the deep stuff. Gesicki's just not going to really have a role. And again, you have those guys on the outside. Why would you need Gesicki to run routes, right? You need him to block and give Tua that time that he hadn't had. So that's just kind of why I think that. Scott, you got anything to say about it? Yeah, we're talking like. Oh man, it could be longer.
18, 17, 16, 15, what?
I have to get
Jordan Cameron.
I have to get back. No, it was after Cameron.
After Cameron. So there's Randall Telker, Ricardo Lewis. Geez, Darren Fells. No, Farrell Brown. That's all I really see. I mean, Gary.
He played on the team for a couple. Gary, what? Starts with a B.
Yeah, starts with a B.
That's what I'm talking about. I think.
Gary Barnage.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what I'm talking about. The guy was like in his 8th season, and then just stepped up and became for like 2 seasons was the guy, and then you never heard. So he went to another team, got signed, and then I don't even think he played it down for them. He got injured, and then that was it. That was his entire career. So,
awesome. Okay. All right. So you got honorable mentions coming up here, and so your number one. Really, I'm kind of surprised with this one is Cameron Brate.
Yep. Yeah, me too. I think the value is there. So, right, we lose. We talked about it. Julio Jones could step up, but Cameron Brate has been on the team. They brought in Kyle Rudolph. You know that Kyle Rudolph is going to be the blocker, right? Kyle Rudolph has not been a successful pass catcher since he played since his like second year for the Vikings. So they're going to have him doing the blocking. He's a great blocker. Well, Cameron Brate, Cameron Brate's great at separation. The dude has speed. The dude is athletic. He's got the athleticism. I think that Tom Brady still likes to throw to the tight end. Yes, he has a lot of options, but everybody knows that. So I think Cameron Brate's going to sneak in and steal a couple touchdowns. So where you're getting him at 212 for the 27th, he's not going to be terrible. He might even win you a couple games.
Well, let's remember he doesn't have Brock shadowing him now. So, I mean, Brock.
Right.
So he's the number one tight end. O.J. Howard's not there anymore. So he is the number one tight end now.
Exactly. And like I said, where everybody, I mean, he's 27th drafted tight end overall. He's going to do better than that, right? I mean, he has to. Like, he's the number one tight end for, one of the better quarterbacks, and they like to throw the ball, they're pretty even. If Fournette keeps eating cheesecakes, then maybe they won't run the ball at all. But so I think he has a lot of opportunity. That's why he's an honorable mention. Yes, he could, not do much, but he could also be the guy.
Okay.
So
let's go with your number 2 with Mo Alley Cox over there.
Hold on just a second.
Yeah, no problem. Oh. That's great.
Okay. Work. So Mo Alley Cox, yeah. Come on, he plays for the Colts. It's Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's never been a huge fan of tight ends, but it's going to be a great offense because they're going to be able to run the ball. They're going to be able to throw the ball now. The options aren't the best, but Mo Alley Cox is such a big guy. At the 35th tight end, 271, he's such a big guy. And, Matt Ryan loves to chunk it up. He had Julio for all those years. Yeah, he's got Pittman. But I think the other guy that he's going to be able to go to is Mo Alley Cox. Mo Alley Cox is a couple years into the system now. And he's a giant. Why would you not try to find him?
Look, last year you saw signs of him in the beginning of the season because, what it is, I don't know about Carson Wentz. He loves tight ends during the beginning of the season and then just forgets about them. But, I mean, you did see signs of him coming out of his shell. He didn't give you a lot of yards, but he did give you a touchdown here, a touchdown there. So I think with Ryan being in there in that system over there, he's going to see that big man and that target in that end zone. He's going to throw it to them.
Right, and that's the thing. So at 35th tight end, 271, I mean, he's going to get a few touchdowns. I'm not saying that these guys are going to just turn your team around. They're honorable mentions for a reason. They're not value for a reason, but these are guys that we think, hey, they definitely could contribute to your team. He's got all the chances in the world. He's the starting tight end for the Colts, and they got, I think, a great corner behind center and a great line, so Molly Cox will have opportunities. And then last but not least, Pat Fairmouth, 13th, 118. Depending on who's going to win that quarterback battle, I think Pat came in there as a rookie last year and did really well. I think yep. Go ahead.
No, I think Pat did a great job last year, especially with the aging Ben Roethlisberger up there, and kind of really helped them out a little bit because their wide receivers, I believe Juju was out right last year with the injury, so
he missed like 4 games.
Right, so he stepped up on that role. He's a great blocking tight end as well. He did step on that role and got some few touchdowns. He didn't do too bad on his yardage. He got a couple 40, 50 yards, 60 yards in there. I think that's a great choice of the honorable mention.
Right on, yeah, and new quarterback. So again, we talk about opportunity. Here's his opportunity to establish a little rapport with whoever wins that battle. Trubisky. Right. And then the receivers aren't the same. It's not Juju. It's a new group, new quarterback. So he can establish himself as kind of one of those staples. And we talk about it. I mean, the ceiling, and I'm going crazy and outlandish here, but the ceiling is somewhere around these guys, George Kittle, Mark Andrews type of things. So,
he's a great.
But hey,
he's a great guy to pick up on your waiver wire, or if you have it on your bench. If your number one tight end is out, he's a great guy to pick up to fill in that space. At the time.
Yeah, agreed.
So
hold on a second. Hold on a second, Scott. In fact, you got anything else? That kind of wraps it up for tight ends for me, and the work's going crazy. So
I understand. That wraps up for me. Next time we're going to do defense and kickers. That's right. We're going to talk about kickers because kickers are the number. They will help you win games. They will. Hey, I've seen them do better than quarterbacks. I've seen them do better than running backs and wide receivers.
I sure have.
Justin Tucker, for example, kicking out over 60-something plus yards, get you 6 points there. So, but we're going to be talking about them and the ranks and everything, and that's pretty much it for us. I'm Scott Doyle. That's Kalen Polk. We appreciate you listening to us in our podcast. And if you got questions, please email me at mr.doyle32@gmail.com. If you want to text me on Facebook Messenger, look at me under a punt situation, or you can go to Kalen Polk on Messenger and look for him. Polk, take it away.
All right, guys. It's been another great episode. Like he said, that's Scott. I'm Polk, and we're Punt Situation. Hopefully, we'll have Sap joining us next time, and maybe possibly Cam. But, guys, if you have any questions, again, you can hit him up at his email. Mine is itspolk@Yahoo, ITSPOLK at Yahoo, and then we've got Twitter. You can go ahead and find us on anything, guys. If you want to leave comments on the videos, we'll look through them and we'll answer your questions if you have questions. So, guys, it's been another great week, and like you said, defense kicker next time, so we'll talk about the real stuff, the real guys that are going to win you fantasy games. And until then, guys, Scott, what are we talking, Friday?
Possibly Friday, yes.
Okay, possibly Friday, probably about 8 p.m. That's when we tend to do it. Probably going to be like every other day or something like that. We'll do about 3 a week. But, if you ask us, we'll let you know. And hopefully you can catch us live. If not, you can catch us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or any of those things. All right, guys. We love you.
Love you.